Well, good morning. Welcome to TNT. Don't worry, I'm not doing the whole show from the pool. I will put some clothes on. Now, it's the end of March and absolutely no sign that there's going to be an extension of the 45-day visa waiver. So you probably need to assume, well, as of now anyway, that from the start of April, that the visa waiver is going to go back to 30 days. But you can extend that to another 30 days in your passport at the end of the first 30 days. So that's the situation as we know the visa waiver as of now. Could change in the next 24 hours and we'll be the first to tell you if it does. But for now, if you're arriving after the 1st of April, assume that you're only going to get 30 days as a visa waiver. Welcome to TNT. And back in the house, found a shirt, found a hairdryer, so everything's good. Now, just to follow up from a story yesterday, we go to Cowside English. I should warn you that they didn't get the editor to go over this before they posted it. It's just full of typos, but we'll work through that to get the main facts. And it's from Cowside English on their Facebook page. And the graffiti protester who spray painted an anti-Lèse Majesté law message and anarchy symbol on the wall of the Grand Palace Emerald Buddha Temple was granted bail at 5 p.m. yesterday. According to Thai lawyers for human rights, the court ordered him not to repeat the same act again, and 50,000 baht was posted as bail surety. And the next paragraph should be, a 15-year-old girl was also arrested on Tuesday afternoon along with the graffiti protester, and she was sent to a juvenile correction facility in Nakhon Pathom after she refused to accept the legitimacy of the justice system and turned her back to a judge during a hearing. So I think she'll be finding out about the justice system in Thailand the hard way. And the 25-year-old graffiti poster, meanwhile, was charged with violation of the Protection of Historic Sites Act and could face a maximum imprisonment term of 7 years if found guilty. Ironic, of course, that he wasn't charged with Section 112 itself. And just a few photos. There they are, the police charging to the wall to stop the graffiti going any further. And the 25-year-old arrested and in the middle of writing 112 and then crossing it out with the anarchy symbol. And another story from Coconuts, Bangkok, and it says a copycat anti-112 murals appear overnight in Bangkok. So after the arrest on Tuesday, it looks like other people headed down to Thai What to Do and bought a few spray cans. Graffiti artist last night, that is Tuesday night, took up the unfinished message of a protester arrested for spray painting protest messages on Bangkok's Grand Palace, hours after a 25-year-old man was tackled by police as he painted graffiti opposing a law used to jail dissidents on the palace's wall. Pro-democracy group Talu Gaz carried on the mural's message elsewhere in Bangkok. And they decided to take on an electrical plant that already had some painting on it, and also the back of a street sign in Bangkok. And it says, the tweet showed photos of a road sign and utility box sprayed with the same slogans. It included the sentence, "You deleted it, but we can repaint it." And the numerals 112 are a reference to Section 112 of the Criminal Code, which penalises any perceived insult or threat to the monarchy with up to 15 years in prison. The law has been used to jail political dissidents, particularly those calling for reforms to the monarchy. Well, not actually reforms to the monarchy, but reforms to the Constitution, so that it would codify the position of the monarchy, list the powers of the head of state. We move on to our next story today, and we head down to Phuket-go.com. Thousands of Russians and Ukrainians stranded in Thailand, including Phuket. While many Russians have been investing in villas and homes in Thailand, there are thousands of Russians and Ukrainians who are stranded in the country due to the ongoing war following the invasion of Russian troops into Ukraine. And around 7,000 Russians and Ukrainians are currently stranded in Thailand, with many of them currently in Phuket. The island used to attract 8 to 9 million overseas visitors in the years up to 2019. And then the next paragraph, a constant 3,000 to 4,000 new Russian arrivals each day since the last November. This is in Phuket alone. Most are tourists, but many are looking at Thailand as either a medium or long-term stay and have taken up the slack in the rental market and buying the available condo stock. And there's been a lot of stories, not only in Phuket, but in places like Pattaya and Bangkok, where Russian people are buying a lot of the available stock in condos available for foreign people at the moment. The story says the Russians have become the largest group of foreign visitors in Phuket by far, with around 17,000 arriving in December alone, with no sign of the rate of arrivals slowing down. Nationally, since January 2023, over 370,000 Russian tourists have visited the country, according to the Immigration Bureau, an enormous and sudden surge compared to last year, which only saw about 435,000 Russians visit the country over the entire year. That was literally in the last 3 months as well. And at the start of March, Phuket Immigration reported that nearly 7,600 Russian nationals have sought to extend their stay in the province since January. And as I've said before, I've got nothing against Russian people. The stories are really about the statistics and about this sudden surge of people from one country and the effects on the tourism industry, the immigration situation, and also things like the property market. This is TNT, and we should thank 5 Star Marine if you'd like to go on a private tour on a charter out onto any of the islands around Phuket. I think there's about 32 islands with some beautiful scenery, some magnificent beaches. Then contact 5 Star Marine and have a chat to them. There's a link in the description under this video. Thursday, the 30th of March, nearly the end of March, and nearly the end of the 45-day visa waiver. Unless we hear something in the next 24 hours, we go to our next story, and I suppose partly connected to the past story. This is from PattayaMail.com, a surge in prosecutions for Asian foreign workers in Thailand. And the story says, although the Immigration Bureau is perceived as the main agency for catching foreigners snatching Thai jobs, the Department of Employment has its own team of investigators. Their October 2022 to March 2023 report says that 685 employment venues were prosecuted and a total of 1,550 people prosecuted, the majority being economic migrants from Myanmar, Cambodia and Laos who had entered Thailand without registration. Indians and Vietnamese also figured prominently in the cases, and the number of Europeans, Americans and Australians arrested during the period by the Department of Employment officers was very small, only around 20 individuals. The story goes on to say that this may be because the inspection appears to have been principally aimed at illegals working in selling goods, hairdressing, driving vehicles and massage. These are activities popular with Asian economic migrants. And a Chonburi immigration spokesperson said that Europeans working without authorisation were involved in teaching classes or running bars, restaurants and sports venues. Other areas of concern at seaside resorts were foreign taxi drivers and tour guides. And there's been quite a few stories about the number of foreigners trying to take over some of those jobs recently, and obviously causing a bit of a kerfuffle with the local Thais who are trying to do those jobs. And from Phuket-go.com, foreign tour guides taking jobs that are reserved for Thais only. And the caretaker Thai PM Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered strict legal action against foreigners who are working as tour guides, which is a profession exclusively reserved for Thai nationals. And a government spokesperson says that the law clearly states that foreigners cannot work without a permit or fill jobs reserved for Thai citizens, including tour guide positions. And the penalty for violators is a fine ranging from 5,000 to 50,000 baht, immediate deportation and a 2-year ban on applying for a work permit. So tour guides just one of the jobs that are reserved for Thai people. Moving on, and tourists urged to download the Tourist Police I Lert U. So there it is with the Tourist Police logo and I Lert U. I would have thought something like Tourist police, emergency contact would have been a little bit more efficient. I Lert U, yes, it's cute, but I don't think at the times you need the tourist police, you want cute, you want some immediate action. Let's read about it. It says the application is operated with the global positioning system, I'll get back to that in a moment, and can be downloaded free of charge from both iOS and Android systems, so basically any phones. Once downloaded, tourists may click request to seek help and send information and photos at the scene of the accident to the war room. And there's also the 1155 Tourist Police hotline. I would urge people just to remember that 1155 hotline anytime they come to Thailand, which has officers standing by 24/7. The information will then be forwarded to local police nearby. Languages available for communication with the tourist police are English, Chinese, Russian, Korean, French, German, ASEAN and Arabic. I'm not really sure what the ASEAN language is or how it goes. I certainly don't know any words in ASEAN. And the government strives to increase safety for all the tourists in Thailand. Technology has been applied to enhance operation efficiency and prompt assistance. Tourists who are planning to visit Thailand are invited to download the app and receive help from the Thai police. So that's all well and good and available for those people that would like to use that service, but do be aware that it does have access to your GPS, so that app actively tracks you. And I think you need to be aware of that, and I hope there's a warning when you download that app. I think the best thing to do is just remember 1155, even have that on speed dial if you need to contact the tourist police at any time. And moving on, Asia's best restaurant list is out, and it's no surprise which country made the list 17 times. This story coming from CNBC, but it has been covered quite a lot around the world's media. Japan is the top destination in Asia for gastronomes this year, according to new rankings released by the 50 Best Organization. And the country is home to 17 of the region's best 100 restaurants, which were released in two parts in March. Singapore and Thailand tied for second place with 15 restaurants on the list each. Hong Kong, last year's top destination, saw 13 establishments. And Singapore and Thailand both count the highest number of entries in the top 50 list, with 9 restaurants each. And Asia's top restaurant, Thailand's Ledu, is a 1 Michelin-starred restaurant that first entered the list in 2017 at 37. And Coconuts Bangkok from coconuts.co is reporting that Bangkok's Ledu named best restaurant in Asia. And the chef owner, whose nickname is Ton, secured top spots for his 2 restaurants. A Thai fine dining restaurant, Ledu, was named best in all of Asia and Thailand, while his chef's table resto, Nusura, ranked 3rd in Asia and 2nd in Thailand. So here's the list. This is the top 50 restaurants. This is the list that was named yesterday, and I've gone through and put a tick next to all the ones in Bangkok, and you can pause or freeze frame or whatever you want to do. Or go to coconuts.co, of course, and find this list. And yeah, Bangkok done very, very well with all those establishments. And I just note here that number 38 is Ran Jai Phai. Now, that is a restaurant that became very famous in the last couple of years after being a street food restaurant that scored a Michelin star. And that's what it looks like early in the afternoon, with people queuing up any day of the week. Very famous for its crab omelette. And there's Jai Phai, who's cooking up a storm in that Michelin star street food restaurant. So great to see that she's getting fame, not only from Michelin, but also in this Asia's top 50 restaurants. And that story there reported in coconuts.co. To our next story now, and this is from Thailand-business-news.com. The Bank of Thailand raises the key rate from 1.5 to 1.7%. And the key takeaways from this are tourism and private consumption remain the key drivers of growth. Growth forecasted to be 3.6 and 3.8% in 2023 and next year, and headline inflation to be 2.9% this year, 2.4% next year. Looks like Thailand is fighting the inflation genie and keeping it quite under control when compared to some other countries. The Bank of Thailand raised rates for the sixth time in a row yesterday as the committee voted unanimously to raise the policy rate by 0.25 percentage points from 1.5 to 1.75%. You can read more about that at thailand-business-news.com. Just a little bit of political news now. And The Nation says that in her 8th month of pregnancy, Pattongtarn Shinawatra promises 600 baht minimum wage. Now, Thailand's minimum wage currently is between about 300 and 380 baht per day. It's different in different parts of the country because different parts of the country have different living costs. And Pheu Thai's PM candidate, Pattongtarn Ing Shinawatra, took the stage during a campaign in Samut Prakan province, that's of course just southeast of Bangkok, and promised to raise the minimum wage to 600 baht by early next year if Pheu Thai party secures a landslide win in the upcoming general election. So a very populist policy, the sort of thing we'd expect from Pheu Thai. Let's look at this Prime Ministerial candidate in action. And here she is at the campaign yesterday, 8 months pregnant. And will be interesting to see if her pregnancy actually figures as a talking point as we get closer to the election. So there she is, Thaksin Shinawatra, the former Prime Minister of Thailand's youngest daughter. And if you believe the polls, she's by far the most popular prime ministerial candidate, and the Pheu Thai party looks like it's set to, if not win a landslide, certainly get the highest number of primary votes. So unless there's some sort of political shenanigans, and that's not off the cards at the moment, after the election on May the 14th, it looks like this young lady could be Thailand's next Prime Minister. Who the Pheu Thai party could be forming an actual coalition with is yet to be seen, so we'll be looking at the polls over the next few weeks and see if we can come up with some sort of accurate prediction. And with that, thank you very much for watching today. Hopefully you're a little bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. If you get an opportunity to subscribe to the channel, I'd be very grateful. Also, click that like button and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.